Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and today I'm here with a bit of a how-to video. So I've been asked, how do you use one of these? So this is a We Are Memory Keepers envelope maker, and there are other brands out there. And I thought, okay, if someone's asking how to use it, there's always newbies there who don't know. So I'm actually just going to give you a quick demo on this, but stay tuned because at the very end of this video, I'm going to show you a really clever little trick you can do with this as well. Just an added bonus little cherry on top of the cake. Okay, this is not my first one of these. The first one I actually bought, and it was a different colour. And I was attracted to the colour, and it was this colour scheme. This sort of cream and whatever colour blue you would call that. Now the downside was, for some reason, I found this really difficult to read. Now I'm not colourblind. I just found this really hard to read. I got very, very frustrated, gave it away, and then bought another one in this colour. So just know that for me I was tempted by the colour, didn't know it was going to be a problem when I got to it. But as you can see, this is so much easier to read. Okay, so when you get it, it arrives like this. It does have a scoring tool in the end there, which you're going to need to make an envelope anyway. So let's put that by. So now, the way you read the chart on here, basically the card size means the size of the greeting card or whatever card you want to put into the thing. So let's see. So if your card measures 3 inches by 7 inches, you will need to cut your paper 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. Okay, we'll talk about the score lines later. Now, when this arrives, it will come with another sticker that you can put over the top of here that's in centimetres and millimetres. So whichever one you're using, I personally like inches, so I stick with inches. Okay, so there you go, that's what we're going to do. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to make this for a 6 by 3.5 inch card, and I'm going to cut my paper to 8 by 8, only because it's a nice round figure. We don't have to mess around with it. We know it's 8 by 8. So just remember, that's the 8 by 8 paper, and it's going to make that size envelope. So I'm going to show you what the process is from start to finish, and then I'm going to show you the nifty little trick I've got at the end. So you're all familiar with my big old guillotine. We've only got to do a little bit of cutting on this, so no problems really. So I'm going to take a piece of stock that I want to make an envelope out of. I'm going to put it to 8 inches and cut, and I'm going to cut it to 8 inches this way because this was an A4 sheet, and here in Britain A4 is slightly different than your card sizes or paper sizes, I believe, in America, if you're watching this in America. So that's the end of the cutting. So now we have our 8 by 8 square, which matches the requirement on the scoreboard. So let's go to this now. Take my score piece out, got my piece of paper to one side. So when it says 8 by 8, okay, that's the paper size. That's the size envelope you're going to end up with, or an envelope that will fit that size card. This measurement here, which is 3 1/8. Okay, I'm not sure you're going to see. I'm trying to make my camera focus on it. I think that's it. So 3 1/8. That 3 1/8, this measurement in the score line will measure up with one of these along here. You only need to do the score line measurement once. So we're going to put our paper in here until it comes to 3 1/8. Right, I have to put the scoreboard down now to be able to do what I'm doing. But anyway, just so we understand those figures. So the first thing I like to do is I like to press a button, and that punches the notch. Then this scoring tool fits into here, which will, once you press it up against this edge, it's in a groove. So you then score the line down. So you can see that's where it fits, and that's where you score down. Once you've done your first one, you turn this round, and then this piece here, the score guide, you line up with the score you've already done. So you don't have to do this measurement again, or at least I never have, and it's not the way I was taught how to do it. So there you go. So once again, I'll put that in there, line that up, press the button, it's cut the little notch out, put my score tool in there and score, and keep going. So repeat press the button, score the line. Line it up, press the button, score the line. So there you go. So now we've made the basics for our envelope. Now there is one thing at this point I want to mention that I found a disadvantage with this scoreboard. Okay, so this is just an 8x8. If you look at the instructions, you can make this all the way up to 11.5 by 11.5. The board isn't really long enough. So if I've got a ruler here, which I do, and I put it here, 11.5, the end of the score ends here. I'm not really sure how you're meant to score all the way to the end. I don't know, unless you have to take it off here and put it on a scoreboard. I could be ignorant of a technique I don't know about. It could be that you do this and then you turn the envelope over and you score from the other side. I don't know. But anyway, that's the one thing that I personally do not know how to do, how to make a bigger envelope from there. But I very rarely make big envelopes anyway. So we've done this. Now, next bit is, I'm going to move this just to one side slightly. I come in and I'm going to fold those over. Now, I've mentioned this on nearly every one of my videos as far as where scoring is. If I've scored a line in, I press down on the fibres, I've made a valley. The valley needs to become a mountain, so I fold, and then that groove actually becomes a mountain. So I'm going to fold all the way around, or I would if I could pick it up, all the way around. Okay, so now we have, let's get rid of those little bits. We have the construct of our envelope, and that's the flap that goes over the top. We should now have an envelope, come here you, an envelope that measures 6 inches by 3.5. So actually that's 6 1/4, 3 3/4 almost. So they've allowed room to get the card in and out, which I think is good, because if you have a thicker card, you've got room to put it in there. So this isn't incorrect. This is actually right in that you have a little bit of wiggle room to put your card in there. So know that if you're measuring to exactly that card size, the envelope's going to be fractionally larger. So coming back in now, I've done this. I've got that's the center. These are fold over or that way, whichever way you want to do it. I like to round this corner and round that corner. So if you turn this around, there's another bit here where if you press down, it'll round it for you. And again, press in, press down, and round it. So we've now got our envelope ready to go. Now, this does overlap considerably. Okay, as you can see, there's a considerable overlap there. So what I like to do is I like to come in with, I'm going to use art glitter glue here purely just because speed of grab. So I've put my finger where that I know that it lines up with the top edge, as in the edge there on both sides. So I'm going to put a line on the edge of the envelope. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to put a line on this edge here. So the inside edge of the flap. And what this will do is when you close the envelope up, you'll actually have a double line of glue. So if I hold those closed, press that over. Now what's happened is I've got 2 lines of glue holding that down, so it's got more strength within it. So let's just put my lid on my glue, because the last thing I want is my art glitter glue to be blocking up on me. Let's put that back where it came from. So that gives you your envelope. I would always then take a ruler or something just to make sure that it's actually free inside and there isn't a problem. And that's how I make my envelopes. And that's how I make an envelope using the scoreboard. But the other things I said to remember is if you're doing a really big envelope, if someone knows how you're supposed to do this all the scored all the way along, please add it in the comments. I'm not the only one who needs to know how to do that. And if you know, it'll be helping all of us. Also, the size here, the card size, will have a little bit of wiggle room so you can actually put something in there. So just to repeat, we were making a card for a 6 by 3.5. And if you look at that, that's 6 1/4 by 3 3/4. So they've allowed you 1/4 inch wiggle room, or if the card is a bit fat, the envelope will distort slightly. So there you go, that's the envelope. Right, let me show you the trick I wanted to show you that I think is really, really, it's a handy dandy thing to do. So I've got a bit of milliner card here, just thin card. Now if I come in and let's do it about there. I'm not really doing any measurements, I'm just punching the hole. And if I slide that along, maybe about an inch, it's completely up to you. You can mark it if you need to and press again. I've given myself a notch. I then take my ruler and I will mark a line to the edge, Let's grab myself a scissors. Now you're probably going to cut a lot neater than I am because I'm doing it through an iPad here. And never the easiest of things to do. Snip that over there. Now if I come in this way and I fold this up, guess what? I've made myself a little file folder. Just use that bone folder just to smooth that down. This is a great way to do little dividers. So there you go, you've got a little file folder. You could sew that into a journal. You could use that just to store pieces in. You could even glue up the sides and then have the tab here so you've got something you can slot in. So just an idea, guys, just something that I think that maybe if you don't know it, that's a cute way to do it. Don't forget, because of this here, you've always got a corner rounder as well. So let's see if I can find. So if I've got any piece of card that I want, or I want to do a journal card or something and I want to round the corners, you also already own a corner rounder if you've got one of these. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully it was useful. As I said, I did that because I'd had a few questions, and also I did it because there's always some newbies out there looking around and they always need to know what stuff is for, and we may already know it but not everyone knows it. So this is me, I'm Ceri the Crafter, and this is where you'll find me. This is where you'll hunt me down if you need me. And this is me saying goodbye. So this is Ceri, C-E-R-I, the Crafter. Until next time, bye bye now.